This is the story of a material so useful, so versatile, and so deadly that it took the United States 126 years to ban it after the first warnings were issued. Asbestos wasn't just another industrial product. It was woven into the fabric of American life, from the insulation in your walls to the brakes on your car to the tiles under your feet. Every single day, 109 Americans still die from diseases it caused. Here's why everyone loved this stuff. Asbestos is a naturally occurring mineral that resists heat, resists electricity, and practically refuses to catch fire. It's durable, it's cheap, and for the better part of a century, manufacturers put it in everything: drywall, floor tiles, roofing shingles, pipe insulation, car parts. The miracle material of the industrial age. But it was killing people from the very beginning. The first official government warning came in 1898, when a British factory inspector documented the devastating health effects on workers. 8 years later, in 1906, the first clinically recorded asbestos death occurred. A 33-year-old man who had spent 14 years in an asbestos textile plant. His doctor diagnosed what we now call asbestosis. He was dead before the medical community fully understood what had destroyed his lungs, and yet the industry was just getting started. The company at the center of this story is Johns Manville Corporation, which by the early 20th century had become the largest manufacturer of asbestos products and the largest supplier of raw asbestos in the United States. They own the world's biggest asbestos mine in Quebec, Canada. They supplied asbestos to the U.S. military throughout World War II. They were an industrial titan. They also knew their product was killing people, and they covered it up for decades. By the 1920s, workers at Johns Manville factories were getting sick with lung conditions at alarming rates. In 1933, Dr. Anthony Lanza of Metropolitan Life Insurance reported directly to the company that asbestos exposure was causing fatal lung disease. The company's response was not to protect workers. It was to control information. A 1935 letter between company executives said it plainly: "The less said about asbestos, the better off we are." That wasn't just corporate indifference. That was policy. Johns Manville funded research through Saranac Laboratories, but prohibited scientists from publishing findings without company permission. The lead researcher died in 1946, expressing deep distress about the cover-up he'd been forced into. The company's own medical director admitted in a 1949 study that workers diagnosed with asbestosis were never told. He described executives telling him, "We know that we are producing disease in the employees who manufacture these products." They knew. They kept going. Workers in Johns Manville mines and factories were so coated in white asbestos dust, they were called snowmen. Warning labels weren't added to asbestos products until 1964, 13 years after they'd been recommended. Between 1940 and 1979, approximately 27 million American workers had already been exposed. Now, here's where the story takes a turn that might make your blood boil. In 1989, the EPA issued a comprehensive rule banning most asbestos-containing products. It seemed like the nightmare was finally over. It wasn't. 2 years later, in the landmark case Corrosion-Proof Fittings v. EPA, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the ban. The court acknowledged that asbestos causes cancer, but it ruled the ban was too costly for industry, estimating it would cost between $450 million and $800 million, while saving around 200 lives over 13 years. Scholars have argued this single ruling effectively called into question the EPA's ability to regulate any cancer-causing substance. Meanwhile, people kept dying. In the Hampton Roads shipbuilding area alone, mesothelioma rates are 7 times the national average. Approximately 100,000 Americans have died or are terminally ill from asbestos exposure related to World War II shipbuilding. Then came September 11th, 2001, when the Twin Towers collapsed. More than 1,000 tons of asbestos were released over Lower Manhattan. Emergency workers rushed in without adequate protection. Thousands are now developing lung cancer and other diseases, and experts say the deaths we've seen so far are only the beginning. By 1982, Johns Manville had faced over 9,000 lawsuits and became the first company to file for bankruptcy over asbestos claims, the largest bankruptcy filing in American history at the time. They established a trust fund in 1988 with $2.5 billion, anticipating about 100,000 claims. They received several hundred thousand. Today, that trust pays mesothelioma victims approximately $17,500. Treatment for mesothelioma can cost $12,000 per month. The numbers are staggering. Over 40,000 Americans die from asbestos-related diseases every single year. Lung cancer, mesothelioma, ovarian cancer. That puts asbestos-related death right behind flu, pneumonia, and suicide as a cause of death in this country. Globally, asbestos kills an estimated 255,000 people annually. It is the #1 cause of work-related death in the world, responsible for nearly half of all occupational cancer deaths. On March 18, 2024, the EPA finally announced a ban on chrysotile asbestos, the most common form still in use, the last form still being imported. The United States joined more than 50 countries that had already outlawed it. But here is where this story stands right now, in 2026. The ban has been paused. The EPA, under new leadership, requested a hold in mid-2025 to reconsider provisions of the rule, a process that could take up to 30 months. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce filed a brief with the Fifth Circuit in January 2026, urging the court to vacate the ban entirely. Oral arguments in Texas Chemistry Council versus EPA are scheduled for the week of June 1, 2026, before the same court that killed the 1989 ban. Public health organizations warn that if the Fifth Circuit rules against the EPA again, it would not only end asbestos regulation, but gut the agency's ability to restrict any toxic chemical under federal law. Roughly 30 million American homes still contain asbestos materials. About 1.3 million workers in construction and general industry remain at risk of exposure today. The ban that was supposed to finally close this chapter is now in legal limbo. A 1966 internal memo at Johns Manville stated plainly, "We have been aware for years that some of our asbestos-containing products have been harmful to workers and to users." They wrote that in 1966. A comprehensive ban didn't come until 2024, and, as of right now, that ban may not survive the courts. It took 126 years from the first official warning for the United States to formally try to ban this material. In those years, millions died worldwide. Every 13 minutes, another American is added to that count. The most effective tool ever sold in America wasn't a saw or a drill. It was a mineral that did everything we asked of it, except let us live.